Hello everybody, my name is Jai, and in today's video I'm finally doing my review video of everything that I got at the 2023 Corio Model Railway Club exhibition. So with that being said, let's begin. Now before the video does start, I just wanted to give a reminder that if you are planning to watch this entire video, I would suggest that you get some snacks and a few drinks, because this video is going to go on for a very long time. And also I just want to apologise for the fact that this video has taken over a month to come out. I definitely didn't expect this video to take as long as it did to literally come out on YouTube, so I just want to say a big sorry for that. But with that being said, that is everything that I have to quickly say before this video starts. Now I'm going to take you about a month back in the past when this video first started. So sit back, relax and enjoy the video. So yeah, as you can probably clearly see, I think I might have gotten a little bit overboard of how much stuff I got, but that should make a pretty good video, I think, shouldn't it? But wait, there's more. I've also got a box full of items as well. So yeah, as you can see, we have got quite a bit of stuff to go through. I think it should be pretty exciting. But all jokes aside, this is the most stuff I've gotten from any train show, period. It's definitely the biggest lot I have ever done, and will probably be the second biggest lot of stuff that I've looked at. But with that all being said, there is one item in here that I didn't get at a train show, and I actually got that at Toy World late last year. But I'll show you that and I'll explain what that item is when we get to it. But just before I do start the video, I just want to say a massive thank you for all of you guys' support on the last 3 videos I've made at the train show. It definitely seems like that it's been very popular. And I also want to quickly say just one more big thank you to Alex and Vincent Beer, I'm hoping I'm answering your names correctly, for again allowing me to use my Garn set and a few of my model trains on their layout, Yarra's Crossing. So if you guys are watching this video, again I just want to say a massive thank you to both of you for allowing me to exhibit my trains for the first time. It was definitely quite special. But anyway, so I think without further ado, I will quickly show you everything that I got at this exhibition. So without further ado then, let me quickly show you what I got in the main bag, which is this big Decisions bag. So the first thing we're going to look at that I got at the show was this. It's a second-hand pack of some V-line wagons, V-line vans, box vans, whatever you want to call them. And what's cool about this, these have actually got opening doors, as you can probably see with the bottom one there. So this item is from On Track Models. Now I've never heard of them before. All I can say is that for my first item from them, I think it's definitely not a bad start. They have some opening door wagons, are very good and very cool. That's the first item. Now the next item, which is the one that I didn't get at the train show, but I still wanted to include it anyway, is the IDR Models Derm. So this is a twin pack version of the Derm. You can get them single pack too, but I went for the twin pack Victorian Railways livery. So yeah, this should be very cool when we have a look at this. So that's the second item. Alright, so now we're at the final item that is in this bag, and although it is the second last item, to me it is probably my favourite item. So this item is a flippin' new end set. This is a brand new end set that is still shrink wrapped, never been opened. Got it at the second hand stall for only $350. Now on Decision's website, if they still had them that is, these things would usually go around $550. So although it's probably not half price, it is still pretty close. I mean, if you ask me, you can't go wrong with tenly what is a brand new item that's only tenly half the price of what they usually are. The fact that I was able to find this is extremely just good luck, I suppose. So yeah, again, this is the second last item, but in my heart, and probably to a few of you guys as well, this is probably my favourite item out of the bunch. But I could talk about this set all day if I wanted to, but we've got to move on. So let's move on to the final item I got at the train show, and that item was none other than Train World. Alright, so here is the final item that I decided to get at the train show, and that is in this bag from Train World. So it's a very nice looking bag, but obviously you're not here to see the bag or see how nice it looks. Obviously you want to see the model inside, so let me take the model out. And the model is none other than a Ixon Models J-Class. I'm not sure how well you can see inside, but yeah, it is a J-Class. My first ever steam Victorian steam trains. Now on the bottom here, as you can probably see, it says that it's an oil burner, and yes, that is what it is. And it is a DC model, not a DCC. I know at the Train World stall that they did actually have a couple DCC J-classes there. But here's the thing, I think I prefer DC for now on. If I ever want to like put a chip in this, I'll just go to Train World or something like that and get them to do it. Now if we look on the other side again quickly, now $5.95 for this steam engine. So this loco will make it the most expensive loco that I've ever gotten in my collection. If you ask me, definitely not a bad price, so long as it works properly, because I have heard some mixed reviews on it. Some are saying that it's very good, some are saying it's not so good, and some are saying it's outright terrible. Now, something that's actually quite funny that I want to quickly mention is that I just hit 535 subscribers. Do you want to take a guess of what number this J-Class is? J535. Now that's funny. So I guess you could kind of say that this is kind of like the 535 subscriber special steam train or something, I don't know. But no, this wasn't intentional. I just simply chose a J class, didn't care what number it was, which is pretty lucky that I did get a number at all, because I heard you can get on number ones of these, and I probably wouldn't have been too happy if it was a non-number one. But I just find it funny that just purely not knowing that I got a number that's as much as how many subscribers I've got on my channel at the moment. So like I said before, this is my first steam train, Australian themed steam train. But what's great is that it's also Victorian, and obviously if you remember, not too long ago, only around a month ago, or nearly 2 months, I actually got on a real J class and went on a real ride. So sure, it's not J549, but at the end of the day, it's still a number. It's still the exact same loco, it's just a different number. So, and plus it's oil burn, so it's close enough to the real J class. But no, I'm very happy with this loco. Again, it is the most expensive loco I have in my fleet, so I'm crossing fingers that this thing works perfectly, because it is a lot of money, nearly $600 for this thing. Usually when prices are this high, they usually are pretty decent, so that's what I'm hoping with this loco today. But yeah, so let me quickly show you everything on the bed and what it all looks like, and then we'll move on to unboxing all this stuff. Alright, so here is everything that again we are going to be unboxing. So as you can see, it's quite a bit of stuff. So the order that you see it in now is the order that we're going to unbox everything. So the first thing we're going to look at is all this stuff in here, which don't worry, there is quite a few interesting stuff in there. You might be able to see that there is a few bits of rolling stock in here, as well as some electronic stuff like signals and a couple little buildings. So there is a few nice things in there. And then next we'll look at the second-hand pack of on-track models box vans in V-line. Then we'll look at the one thing I didn't get at the show, the IDR models of Victorian Railways Derm, the twin pack. Then we'll unbox what is, in my opinion, my favourite item of the whole bunch, period, the V-line end set. And then lastly, we'll unbox the most expensive locomotive I've ever gotten, the J class, which is a J535. So that is all the stuff we're going to be unboxing and taking a look at. So I think the only thing to do now is to take all this stuff down to the kitchen table and unbox it all and see what it all looks like. So let's get started. Alright, so here is everything on the kitchen table. Now obviously, like I said before, we are doing this in a certain order. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is this. Alright, so I think the first thing we'll take a quick look at is some of the second-hand rolling stock inside of this box. There isn't too much of it, there's only about 5 different pieces. This is one of them. It's a Victorian Railways tanker. Only about $7, so not too bad. Open it up. We'll take her out and have a look. And there she is. So yeah, pretty nice. There are a couple little defects of it, but I mean, for a second-hand model, it's not like anything super bad or anything. For a second-hand model, you sort of expect that, and yeah, it's not that badly damaged or anything like that. It's pretty much in good nick. It's a pretty plain tanker, but nonetheless, I still like it. I actually do have 2 more of these, but because they are pretty much the same, I won't bother unboxing them, but I'll just show you all 3 of them together. So here are the other 2. One of them has got some like brass metal ladders, which is pretty nice. At least I think that's what it is. But yeah, as you can see, they're both pretty much the same. So yeah, that is the tank cars out of the way. Now why don't we get to looking at the 2 box vans. Alright, so the next wagon we'll take a look at is this one. Let's unwrap it and get a better look at it. This one was only $5, so not bad. But yeah, here it is. As you can see, the truck sort of sides are yellow, which is a bit odd, but not enough to not make me want to buy it. You can see a couple little paint defects on the wagon, little bits of yellow, but that's not a big deal. But overall, that's the second last wagon in this. So why don't we take a look at this one. Alright, so this wagon definitely did cost me a bit more than the others, as you can see. About $50 this wagon was. But if you ask me, it's not a bad deal. It's in fairly good nick. Not as heavy as the last one, but still looks very nice nonetheless. Got myself a trusty knife here. So let's peel away the plastic and open her up. And here she is. A nice VR livery. So yeah, she looks like in pretty good nick. I think out of all the second-hand wagons, at least in this box, it's the nicest one. That's that wagon then. Now let's move on to some of the bits like scenery and stuff like that in here. So the next few things can pretty much just go out all at once. These are nothing too special, these are just like micro switches for this. It's a nice little signal. Never seen one like this before, but I'm in need of some signals. Now this might not be Victorian, but I don't really care. It's a good enough signal to me, I liked it. I don't really care if it's Victorian or not, it'll be good enough for me. But those are those 3 items. Next, let's have a look. Yep, some more signals. These ones are actually pretty cool because what the instructions on the back are meant to tell you. Apparently these are signals that have got sensors in them, so once the train goes past the centre of one of these signals and it turns green or red. So it's a nice touch. Now I did get 2 of these. Yeah, here's the other one. So again, might not be Victorian, but they're green and yellow signals, so they'll definitely do the job, I would say. It's got all the bits and pieces. Next, nothing too fancy, but some oil, like refinery type of stuff, as you can see, with some nice brass ladders. So there's 5 of them in here. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good deal. Next is actually a pretty decent find for these 2. As you can see, it's like little bits of scenery, little people and little animals in here. I'm not sure how well the camera will pick it up, but yeah, if you do it like that, you can see tons of like chairs in there and tables, stuff like that. Yeah, and there's like little tables, little animals, stuff like that. Got some animals on top too. And then you got this one. Again, got full of like bits of scenery, little people. Some of it is N scale, but the majority of it is HO. Like these two here I think are N scale, but the rest are HO. So yeah. Yeah, I think it's a very decent little find. There's definitely enough like the characters in there that I don't think I need to bother buying anymore. So these two, really good buy. Now the second last thing is this. It is a level crossing, and I wanted to get this because it looks similar to the one down at Anarchy Road. And as you can see, it was only $45, so I couldn't necessarily refuse. I'll take one of them out very carefully now. Also, I don't want to accidentally damage it. But yeah, as you can see, there's tons of little wires, so I've got to be extra careful. Very nice find. But as you can see, like, you got the wires that are coming out of lights, stuff like that. So yeah, extremely fragile. Got to be so careful with this. But yeah, I do plan to put this on my layout. I do have to get some light flashes though, so until that though, these things can't run, but still a very good find. And if you're wondering, yes, they are actually Victorian, so if any Victorian viewers, yes, be happy. Alright, the lucky last thing is another building, and it is a industrial house. But no, looks fairly nice, doesn't it? Bit dusty on the top, but also you can just wipe that off. So here is everything that we just looked at that came from inside this box. I decided to take out all the oil refinery drums, or whatever they're called, so you guys can get a bit of a closer look at them. As you can see, there's some brass ladders, all of them have it. But yeah, it's a pretty cool looking oil refinery. And over here we do have some of the more smaller details again, such as these signals, and of course all the little switches. And as you can see, I have taken out one of these two signal packs. But yeah, this is a bit of a closer look in what it looks like, and in the back that's what it looks like. And over here, just like before, this is all just little bits of scenery, but you can see like there's all animals and all in there, little tables and chairs, so definitely enough scenery I think for a starter, as well as in here. As you can see, there's definitely quite a bit of figures and bits of scenery in this. And here is the big freight house. Now, as you can see, it's kind of fallen apart a little bit, but nothing but a bit of super glue will help that. But again, this is what the freight house looks like. Got a cool little advertisement there. But no, it's a cool little freight house. I'll definitely have a place for that again when my layout is done. And finally, we've got the Victorian level crossing, so you can see. So like I said before, I actually do need to get some light flashes before these will run, but when I do get some light flashes, they should be hopefully good. But anyway, that is everything from what was inside of, again, that box. Now let's move on to opening the On-Track Models V-Line vans. Alright, so like I said just before, the next thing we're looking at is on-track models V-line box vans with opening doors. Let's pop off the box. And here we go. I'm going to look not at the top one, but more like either the bottom or middle, because the top one is quite the pain. The doors just keep popping off it, like literally. So I'll just be showing you this one, which obviously, as you can see, has opening doors. Both sides as well. So if you wanted to, which is probably what I'll end up doing, is I'll probably end up using these to put like little things in. Not sure what though, but could be interesting. As far as inside, it's just kind of plain, yeah. It's like a white paint in there, so nothing too special, but getting to have opening doors. The underframe detail looks very good as well. You've obviously got all the air hoses and brakes, stuff like that, as well as little ladders. Nice painting of the V-line logo there. You've also got the number of what wagon this is. It's very nice. As for the sides, I'll quickly show you the second one, but the only difference is that it doesn't have the white stripe where this one does, so that's the only difference though. But yeah, so I'll take out the third one, I guess, but I won't bother opening doors. But you can see the doors are a bit different, as you can see. Bit different doors, but other than that, it's pretty much the same wagon, so there's that. So that's the V-line on track trains, I think it's called, review done. Alright, so the next thing we're going to look at is the one item that I didn't get at the trade show, and that is the Victorian Railways Derm. Alright, so the description of this pack that I have is Pack 8A, Rail Motor 60 and MT Trailer 28. Idea Models Derm. So this model cost me around $470, and yes, I'm now wearing gloves because we are now dealing with more expensive models and I don't want to risk getting any finger marks on any of these logos or rolling stock now. So, but here's just a quick look around the box. That's the description there. I'll have a close-up of that. Here's got the post address and where they are on that side. And you got the Victorian Railways with a nice VR on the side there. So, yeah, without further ado, let's unbox this. Now, the instructions, we'll take a closer look at them later. As well as with the J-Class, but for now on, we'll leave them last. And here they are. Now, as you can see, obviously already the wrapping's gone, because I have used these before, so I could have wrapped them up again to make them brand new, but it's no point. But yeah, so that's what they look like in the packaging anyway. So we'll also take out the rail motor first. And take her out. Now, what I'll quickly do is I'll show you these. These are etched blinds. Obviously you put them on the window or whatever. So metal etched blinds. Very nice though. But anyway, here is the model itself. Looks fairly nice, doesn't it? So there is a few versions you can get of this thing. I think the one I got though was the best one. I didn't really like any of the other paint schemes on this. But anyway, here's the roof. Pretty bland, or basic, but that's really no surprise. Although you got some detail up there. You got the other side. Underneath, you got some pretty good underframe detail there. Now, the thing I'll also mention, it says, surprisingly it doesn't say in the instructions, but this thing actually does have a good interior as well, as we'll look later on when I do some close-ups on this. But also it actually has interior lighting, so which is something that the instructions don't tell you, which is sort of surprising. But if you look closely, you can see the motor in there. Now obviously it's a fairly small motor, so don't expect this thing to be like able to carry that much. And besides, in the real world, these things only at most carried the trailer car or a couple little wagons, and that was it. Got some nice detail inside as well. Obviously you can't see it too nicely now, but again, I'll do close-ups of this when it comes to it. But yeah, that's the power model. Now let's take a quick look at the trailer. As you can see, we've got the metal etched blinds again. And here it is. The only downside with this is it doesn't have interior lighting in this coach, and that's probably one of the only few criticisms I can give with this model, with this 2-pack, is it would have been really good if they did actually add some interior lighting in this. Sure, it would have probably bumped up the price a bit more, but I think it would have been worth it. Because I have ran this at night, and it does look a bit odd when you got the power model lit, but the trailer car is not. It's a bit weird to see. When I get a bit smarter knowing how to do this stuff, I could probably just have my own lighting, but let's be honest, that's a long way away. Anyway, here's the roof. More basic than the power model, but it's expected. Oop, nearly dropped it. But yeah, here you go. So this is what the twin pack comes with, and what it looks like if you get the Victorian Railways one. So that's my review on the IDR Models Derm. Now I'm going to just push all this stuff aside, and we're going to take a look at what is my favourite item of this entire unboxing video. And of course, that is the Precision Models N-Set.
What's your name on the board? What's your money on the table?
Yeah, your name's not on the board, no?
Yeah, no, but we don't, no one's name was on the board. We don't have.
Yeah, that was the joke, exactly. No, I think you were next.
Put a dollar on the table.
Oh, anyway, you do it.
Alrighty, so here is the moment that I have been waiting for so long now, and is to finally open up one of these N-sets. So very quickly before we do open this N-set up, we'll just quickly take a look at the description of what particular N-set this one is. So this N-set is N passenger car set N5. It's a 4-car set in V-Line Pass Mark 1 livery with no bottom strip. ACN, BN, BRN cars with D-van, VPS 11. So that's the description of what this N-set is, but now I think it's finally time to unbox this set and have a look, and what better way to open this without a knife. Let's find a gap, there we go, and something like that will do, and peel away the plastic sheet. Pretty hard. You know how to peel away, there we go. Alright. Well, here's a better look, I guess, at it. Oh boy, I'm pretty excited. So, here we go. I just need to take off this plastic cord. Oh, there we go. And here she is. So firstly, we'll take a look at the couplers. Yeah, look alright. So here is what I'm assuming are spare couplers. Either that or just some like extra couplers like what the Garden Great Southern had in case if your like curves are too sharp. I'm assuming these are more extended couplers for that issue. But anyway, now without further ado, let's start taking out this set, and I think the first thing I'll take out is the D-van. And here it is. So what's very cool is that I've finally got my own proper V-line van, and as you can see, it has opening doors, has a nice V-line logo, the old type of V-line logo we used to like back in the day. Here's what one of the sides look like. I'm not sure what the P stands for, but it's there. You also got some ladder detail and stuff like that. Pretty nice. Got a lot of pipe work and air hoses and a coupler. You even got like a little fake brake, or like fake coupler thing that would undo the coupler. You got the top, which is pretty nice. Definitely nice top there. The other side, pretty much the same, as well as the other side. As for under the frame, very nice. I love the fact how it's got the little Precision Models logo there. But yeah, so that is the D-van. Pretty nice. Clearly I can tell which one's the back and what's the front. This is clearly meant to be the back as it has the rear lights. What am I talking about? Yeah, sorry, no it does. It has lights. Well, they obviously don't work, but they're just like fake lights. So yeah, but yeah, all the doors do open. I guess I can quickly show you what it looks like all open. And you've got some ladders down there too. So yeah, very nice. So that's the D-van. Now let's take a look at one of the passenger cars. Just try to be careful, because I don't want to risk breaking anything. What's that? Yeah, nothing. I'm assuming they're meant to, oh, I see, they're like little things to protect it. Here we go, here is one of the passenger cars. So another cool thing to know, for what I heard, is that some of these doors are actually meant to open. It might be just the top one, I'm not too sure, but all I know is that some of these doors are meant to open. But yeah, without further ado, here's what it looks like. At least that's the side of it. So this is car B, so it is sort of mixed up a little bit. Anyway, so you got the V-line logo there, which is very nice, of course. As far as the paintwork, it's very nice and crisp. Now, you might not be able to see it too well, but there is extremely good amount of detail, or interior detail inside this model. And if you look fairly carefully enough, and I'm not sure the camera will be able to pick this up, but there are even like roof racks inside. So it's very nice that we do have some carriages that include that, because not many do. Here's what the side looks like. You've got some nice little bits of pipe work, as well as the knuckle coupler. No, fairly nice. And as well as the other side, it's obviously the same. As for the other side, as you can see, you've actually got the little bar, which is also where you would get snacks and all that. Again, with the close-ups, we'll take a closer look at that. This is what the other side looks like. As the top, it's just a plain dark blue. That's what they did back in the day, and here's what the underframe detail looks like. Wow, very, very well underframe detail. But no, a lot of the detail on the sides as well, extremely stunning. So that is a look at one of the one of the N set cars. Excuse me, sorry. So we'll look at the next one, which looks like, which I'm pretty sure this is car C. So this is the one that's meant to be at the back of the train. Here we go. So it's kind of your standard normal passenger coach. Again, you can see there's quite a bit of detail in there. Again, it does have roof racks as well. Again, very nice. It is pretty much the same, just like on the outside now. Same type of underframe detail and paintwork, stuff like that. And yeah, as you can see, the sides are pretty much the same, but you do have a bit of extra stuff, but you can tell that yeah, this is meant to be like the last coach. So I'm not sure why they wouldn't have added this last, but oh well. And the other side is just the same as the other coach. So the other car that we looked at this is the buffet, and this is just your standard economy car, which again very nice. So again, under frame detail, fairly the same. Yeah, very nice. So that is the second coach. Now let's take a look at the final coach in this set, which is going to be the first class coach. Here we go. As you can see, opening doors. Very nice. So from what I can see, this is the only coach that has opening doors. So I actually would have thought all the coaches had opening doors, but no. But that's not a big deal. But yeah, if you wanted to know, yeah, this does have opening doors in it, which is fairly cool. You can tell that it's technically first class because the chairs are a different colour. The economy and the buffet are like red seats, but this is a purple seat one. Definitely a little bit different, but as you can see, it's sort of the same as far as the underframe and the sides go. You got your typical front and rear of the coach, and as you can see here, well, you got like the rear lights as well as what I'm assuming like a little lamp would go, and a little white marker thing, which I'm not sure what that's for. But I guess the only downside is with these coaches that I kind of wish that they had lighting. But other than that, that is really it. There's nothing else I can really complain about these coaches, like nothing. So without further ado now, so that is a look at the N set. Now we're going to look at the final model, which is of course going to be the J class. Alright, so here is the last thing we're going to unbox, which is of course the J class. So without further ado, without dilly-dallying, let's get this wrapping off. Oops. And not break my H set, N set. Why do I keep saying H set? I don't know. But yeah, let's peel this stuff away. And then have a look at the model. Yeah, here we go. This is quite tight. Try not to be too hard because I don't want to obviously risk damaging. Oh jeez, the model. So you have the instructions in there, but we'll look at that later. And yeah, here we go. So we'll quickly look at some of the accessories you get. So on the loco itself, you got some glazer windows. So obviously the model itself doesn't come with the glazing windows attached, so you got to add them yourself, which is okay. And here you get a driver and a fireman crew member with a couple little, I'm not sure what they are, just little like gears or little bits of detail in the cab. The only bummer is with this, with these crew members, is that you got to do it yourself, which I'm not good at it, so yay for me. There she is. I want to be careful how I take this out. Oh yeah. Oh, no. Here we go. There she is. J535. So I'm just going to put this on the box for now. And we'll take some close looks at it, as I'm too worried to break it. I'll just keep it holding like that. Here's a tender. This one definitely doesn't have as many detail parts. But yeah, so here's what it looks like. So like saying before, this is a oil burner. And yeah, it looks fairly nice. Most people seem to get the oil burner ones because for some reason the coal ones don't have any coal loads in them, and well, I think that's just a bit weird, isn't it? So I've actually got a nickname for the coal burner ones that don't actually have coal in them, and that is, hear me out, an air burner.
Wow.
You serious?
Yes, I know, it's hilarious. But that's why I went for the oil burner one, because there's no coal. And again, because I think oil burner makes it more modern, and I want to have a bit of a more modern era. Around when steam was nearly gone. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. And it feels like that, yeah, it does. It has sprung buffers. We'll get some closer detail looks at that later. Yeah, sorry I'm not holding the model like I did with the other stuff. It's just simply because there's just so much detail on this that I don't want to risk breaking it. Alright, so that is everything now unboxed. As you can see, it was definitely quite a bit of stuff. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the instruction manuals for the Derm and the J class, and I'll quickly show you what the instructions of those look like. And then after that we're going to get out my Lazy Susan and we'll take a close look at all of these carriages as well as the locos and see what close-up details we can get from them. So let's do that. So I've got both sets of instructions here, both from IDR models and IXIM models. So we'll take a look at the IDR models instructions first. So here is just a quick shot of everything. I will talk about this in a second, as that is kind of important. There we go. So just going quickly through the instructions. Hopefully it is clear. If it isn't, I'll just put like a picture or something like that down when the video is being created. Now back to this section very quickly. If you don't know what this is, it's meant to be a keep alive. Now I know a few of you probably know what this actually is, but for those of you who don't, a keep alive is meant to keep producing power to the wheels even when it doesn't make contact to the rail. So I'll give you a quick example. So you know how some small wheelbase locos might have trouble going through, say, big express points around the dead zone in the middle of the point? Well, what this keep alive system does is it makes it where even when there's no power going through to the model at that point, it somehow actually keeps the power going through the model even knowing it's not getting power on the wheels. I guess to put it simply, this is like a tiny mini battery. But with that being said, even knowing this keep alive system is great, I'm not sure if it does work on DC. I know that it does work on DCC, but I can't confirm if it does work on DC. But even if that isn't the case, that's nothing too serious or too bad. Usually when I do drive this around on the Corio Model Railway Club layout, it doesn't really have any problems going through the dead zones at the points anyway. So it's really not a big issue. But if you wanted to know, yes, that is what a keep alive system is, if you're not confused. But quickly, we'll look at the diagram of the derm. So obviously it's all the separately fitted parts and what all the separately bits mean and what numbers they are in case if you need to replace any. There you go, so that is all of the instructions for the derm. So now, let's quickly move on to the IXIM model instructions. That is from the J class. Now, unlike the DERM instructions, you only get one set and a very small diagram. So again, I will start on top like this, and we'll work our way down. So again, if you do want to read any of this, just pause the video. That's your best bet for looking at all the writing and reading. And here is the other side, as you can see. And yeah, we've got quite a microscopic version of a diagram. That's pretty small, isn't it? Like, obviously there are way more separately fitted parts than what this shows. It's just showing the wheelbase and the body itself. But with that being said, that is both instruction manuals now out of the way. So the most suffering part of the video is now over. So the next thing we are going to be doing is taking a closer look at all the details on my Lazy Susan, and we'll see how it goes from there. So without further ado, let's move on to that.
they took the control of it. The flowers that go in the railway tracks.
That's base card as well.
The wiring isn't done to let it pull apart. So if you want to pull that apart, you have to cut all the wiring off the joint.
The larger section of wood.
Alright, so it's finally time for my final thoughts and my opinions on everything that I got at the 2023 Geelong Model Railway Exhibition. Now, because this video has gone on for a ridiculously long time at this point, I'm going to try and shorten my final thoughts as much as I possibly can, because this video has gone on for a very long time. So I will start with all the freight wagons, and the first thing I will say is I'm very happy with all the freight wagons I got at the second-hand stall. I do really like all the freight wagons that I did get, especially the V-line vans that have the opening doors. Those are probably my favourite freight wagons I got out of the second-hand stall. The same with the other two box vans, the one with the small VR and the large VR logos. Very nice as well. No defects or no broken parts in them, as well as all the free tankers. They're all very nice, and again, I'm very happy with all my purchases that I got at the second-hand store with all these freight wagons. There is one criticism I'll quickly give to one of the freight wagons, and that is one of the V-line vans from on-track models, and that's simply one of the doors on the V-line vans just keeps popping off. It's not a big deal, and all I can do is just super glue it or something like that, and it should be solved. Although the only bad news is though is I won't be able to open and shut the doors on that wagon. But that is the only criticism I have, is that the doors keep popping off on this particular van. But other than that, I'll give all the rolling stock a 9 out of 10. Pretty good score. Next, we'll quickly talk about the end set. As you probably have already heard me say it multiple times in this entire video, this is my favourite item that I did get at the train show, and that is still correct. This is still my favourite item I have gotten from the train show. With all the detail that these carriages have, and as well as the D-van, and the paintwork is just amazing. All the detail in interior as well. The fact that you got roof racks, seating, as well as separately fitted parts all around the model, and the underframe are just all amazing. I also like how the D-van does have opening doors as well, which gives this set a lot of fun play value, as you could put some stuff in there too. But all up, I would say with the V-line end set, I would probably give it a 10 out of 10 pretty much. Although the only criticisms I guess I do quickly have of it is I wish that there was either interior lighting inside the coaches or rear lights on the back of the coaches, or maybe the D-van. That would have only been the other thing that I believe would have made this set better. But other than that, it is still a very good set. But now moving on to the Derm. So like I said before, this is the only thing that I didn't get at the train show, but again I thought that I would still add this anyway, but well, it's the one thing I have the most gripes with, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I just want to say I'm still happy with this thing. I do really like it. I do love, of course, the paintwork, all the detail, the underframe, especially with the detail, is very good, as well as the fact that this has interior lighting and a very good interior. Definitely very good and spot on, and the fact that it's also got directional lighting, rear lights and front lights, although that is sort of expected these days, but it's still very nice that they still do add that. As well as the roof detail, very good too. So yeah, there's lots of good detail, and again the paintwork is very nice as well. As for the trailer car, it's still very nice, although it has way less detail than the rail motor. But now with some of the negatives I do have, and one of them isn't as serious, but the other one is sort of a bit more serious. So the one that's less serious is I just kind of wish the trailer car had interior lighting. Considering the fact that the Derm does, I think it should have came with interior lighting. As you probably will see in this clip I'll quickly show you, it does look very odd when the Derm has, when the rail motor has interior lighting but the trailer car doesn't. As you can see, it does look a bit odd. So that's my first bit of criticism. However though, the next bit of criticism I do have with it is definitely a little bit more serious. And that is the fact that this thing has actually shorted out on me twice. I am thinking that I might have to possibly take it back, which will be a bummer if I have to, because I do really like this model, and it would be such a shame if I had to take it back and, you know, have that happen. So it's either that, or I'm going to see if I can try and figure out the problem. But with that, that is all the gripes I do have with the Derm. So definitely kind of a bit more of a serious criticism to give. But I do hope that I can solve that problem. However though, we are now up to our final item that I'm going to talk about. And that is of course the Ixom Models J-Class. So just like with everything else, it is definitely a very magnificent model, especially when it comes to detail. Just look at all this detail. It is just absolutely amazing the amount of detail that is on this thing. And same with the cab, it has a magnificent amount of detail inside. Not many cabs in any steam loco models actually have this much detail. As well as that, you do have the tender, which again has very great amount of detail as well. But talking about the detail, you do actually have a few separately fitted detail parts that you can actually interact with. One is being a little coupling hold thing at the front and the rear of the loco and tender. And although it isn't a real like coupler detacher thing, it's still fun that you can interact with it. So that's the first bit of detail. The second bit of detail that you can interact with is actually within the cab, and I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like a little flop thing that you can lift up and down, so it sits on the loco and tender. That's again a very nice touch, but probably the best thing about this, at least with the separately fitted detail, is the sprung buffers on the loco and the tender. Not many manufacturers actually do sprung buffers, and considering the fact that Australia doesn't really have that many steam trains that have buffers to begin with, it's great the fact that we do have this particular steam loco that does have sprung buffers. So I just thought I would point out those little details as well. So all up, there is definitely a lot of great positive things about the J-Class. However, that doesn't mean that this thing is free from any criticism, and for that I'll give a few bits of criticism that I believe deserve to be valid. So the first thing I'll quickly talk about is the loco, the tender connection, and I'm pretty sure a few of you can agree with me that it is definitely not the best design. It took me 3 attempts to get this thing inside the box to take it to the Corio Model Railway Club. Yeah, it's just not the best design. I understand why the design is like the way it is. It's meant to make the tender and loco more closer together, of course to make it more realistic. And the other criticism I'll give it is just the fact that the engine is definitely a bit noisy. Now, although I am criticising it, it isn't a big deal or anything. It's just that it is a bit of a loud noise coming from the engine. At the start I was worried that maybe like it wasn't lubricated or something like that, but no, it's just the actual noise of the engine. After looking at some other reviews, it's pretty much the same with everyone. They usually think that the engine is a bit noisy, but there actually isn't anything wrong with it. So apart from the loco and tender connection and the loud engine, that's all the criticisms I have to give with the J-Class. And with that being said, we have now reached the end of this video. So those were all my final thoughts on everything, so pretty much very positive apart from the gripe with the dome. It's really the only thing I'm a bit disappointed about. But really, other than that, everything else I absolutely am happy with. I definitely am quite happy with all the stuff that I got, again, especially with the end set. Still my favourite item that I did get, and although the end set is my favourite item I did get at the exhibition, the J-Class is actually my favourite loco I have in my collection. So technically I guess I do actually have 2 favourites. But with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely had fun making it, even though it literally took over a month to make this darn thing. So if you did watch through the entire video, I would like to say a massive thank you to all of you, considering the fact that this video has gone on for a ridiculously long time at this point. But with all that being said, that is the end of this video. So I'll just like to say thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. So take care guys, and I will see you in my next video.